Muy buenas tardes. Nuevamente nos encontramos en nuestra última charla con relación a Realtor Foundation. Le damos la bienvenida. Esto ha sido un maratón de conocimientos, educación, que nos sirve a todos para nuestra profesión. Y en estos momentos vamos a compartir con el señor Mike Force. Gracias a todos por su asistencia. En la Puerto Rico Association of Realtors nos sentimos muy contentos de que hayan estado todo el día con nosotros en todas las actividades. Agradecemos a los presidentes. Agradecemos a Irma Colón en el área de tecnología. No podemos dejar pasar estos detalles porque después, cuando se termine la charla tan importante que vamos a tener en la tarde de hoy, puede que se me queden esos nombres y eso no es. Así que agradecemos a todas esas personas que han sido parte importante de nuestro día de educación. Le damos la bienvenida al señor Michael Force y pasamos con nuestra CEO, Diana López.
Muchas gracias, Diana. Pues muy buenas tardes a todos. Espero que todos tengan su cafecito en mano. Voy a cambiar al idioma inglés un momentito, ¿verdad? Con respecto a Michael. Mike, we are changing language, so now we are talking in English because of you. But we are challenging you to learn Spanish, and I will do your biography in Spanish too. So welcome. Very pleaseful to have you as a speaker. Your generosity, your time, and your commitment speak about you. So thank you very much. I know that today we will have a superpower presentation, and we all be engaging with you and the challenges that have the foundation. So you can count with our team in Puerto Rico to fulfill your goals. So we will be one, as Mr. Camacho said in his
Diana, no te escuchamos. Lo último que dijiste no te lo pudimos escuchar.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so I excuse Mr. Camacho, our president, and because he is now in a government event and related to the Realtors Week, so I apologize on that. And it's probably that he joined us at any moment during the afternoon. The same with our first vice president, Marjorie Agosto. Maybe they join us in as a surprise, so we'll be they will be part of our conference. And excuse me for that, and excuse them. And as he told in his slogan, we are one, and we will be one with you regarding everything of the Realtor Foundation and the goals of the Realtor Foundation during 2021 and the years to come. And I will proceed with in Spanish for the benefit of everybody too. So vamos a hacer la oración porque no queremos continuar los trabajos sin presentarle a Dios nuestra conferencia. Que sea Dios quien guíe esta conferencia, que nos bendiga a todos en el conocimiento y en el espíritu para poder llevar a cabo la labor de la fundación en la NAR y continuar la labor, ¿verdad? Y esa parte de nuestro ser como Realtor, que nos tenemos que dar a nuestras comunidades más necesitadas y que tenemos que apoyar a las comunidades tanto en Puerto Rico o en cualquier parte del mundo que nos necesiten ante cualquier catástrofe que ocurra o ante cualquier situación. Y el señor Michael Ford nos va a estar hablando más adelante sobre eso. Señor Dios, te pido que bendigas los trabajos del día de hoy, de la tarde de hoy, que bendigas a cada uno de los aquí presentes, bendiga nuestros talentos, nuestras capacidades y nuestras destrezas y que las pongamos al servicio de los demás. No somos nada y no hacemos nada con ellas si no las compartimos y si no las damos. Les invito a todos a ser dadores porque es mejor dar que recibir y solamente dando es que podemos recibir. Que Dios bendiga estos talleres y vuelvo y le paso el micrófono a nuestra decana Diana Vélez.
Gracias, Diana. Como mencionó Diana López, nuestro presidente no va a estar durante la tarde de hoy porque ya se encuentra recibiendo la programa, así que de estarlo va a entrar y va a tomar su tiempo, ¿verdad? Para, si no es saludarnos, es despedirse de todo este día tan grandioso que hemos tenido, así que no vamos a esperar más y vamos a comenzar, Diana, con la presentación de Michael Ford.
Ok, pues Mike, you have the microphone. So welcome, and I will speak a little bit about Michael before he starts. The biography is in Spanish for benefit of everybody too, but you can find that in our website. It's there completely and it's awesome. So Michael Ford, un realtor de West Memphis, Arkansas. Es el vicepresidente del 2015 de la National Association of Realtors, The Voice for Real Estate. Es la asociación comercial más grande de Estados Unidos que representa a 1 millón de miembros involucrados en todos los aspectos de la industria inmobiliaria, residencial y comercial. Realtor desde hace 35 años, Michael es corredor y propietario de Coldwell Banker Heritage Homes en West Memphis y se especializa en corretaje residencial. Tiene la designación profesional del Graduado Realtor Institute, mejor conocido como el GRI, y es un IPRO certificado. Michael ha estado involucrado activamente con NAR durante muchos años. Es un miembro de larga trayectoria en la junta directiva de NAR, teniendo sus trabajos desde el 1994. Ha presidido múltiples comités, como lo han sido el Comité de Recaudación de Fondos de Fideicomiso de ARPAC, movilización de temas y comunicaciones políticas. Fue el principal enlace de inversores de ARPAC para el 2012 y en el 1997 fue vicepresidente de NAR para la región 9, en representación de Arkansas, Kansas, Oklahoma, Missouri. Michael es miembro del Salón de la Fama de ARPAC. Y con ustedes, Michael Ford. Gracias por acompañarnos. Michael, welcome.
Muchas gracias. So to all, as I look across the screens, I see a lot of familiar faces. I see some new faces. And for those of you who know me, you know that I do not speak any Spanish. I understand just enough to be dangerous, but I can assure you, my friend Irma Colon and Eduardo would tell you that I'm going to say something that they've heard me say 1,000 times. I don't even speak English. It's called Southern English where I'm from. So I can assure you the Queen doesn't understand a thing that I say. So it is my hope that you guys understand me better than the Queen would using English. But what a great opportunity it is for me to be here today. I consider the Puerto Rico Association of Realtors my second home. I had the opportunity to work with you in your association for 3 years, and it's the 3 years of my volunteerism that I cherish the most. And the friendships that I made in Puerto Rico will live with me a lifetime. I was telling the group earlier before we got on, if you could scan my office, you would see over here to the right the presentation that you guys gave to me, in 2015. But the thing that I truly enjoy the most, there's a box of note cards. And everyone in 2015 wrote me just some really sweet messages that mean a lot to me. And every once in a while, when I need something to lift me up, I get in that box and I read those notes. And it is thrilling, the opportunity that I've had to work with you guys. And I do consider Puerto Rico my second home. And I'll always enjoy my opportunity to visit with my realtor friends in Puerto Rico. Before I get started, though, I want to congratulate all of your local realtors of the year. I remember that honor myself. I can remember being my state realtor of the year, and there is a feeling about that is very hard to explain when your members of your association recognize your work. But I am remiss. I owe the Puerto Rico Association of Realtors, both the San Juan board and the Bayamon board, a thank you note. But I want to do this publicly right now. A couple of weeks ago, I arrived home, and at my front door was this big UPS box. So I go outside and I bring that UPS box in, and I was very shocked and humbled that last year, both San Juan and the Bayamon Board of Realtors presented me with plaques thanking me for my leadership in their local associations. And they used some words that I found very interesting: unwavering support and unrelenting guidance. And the other one says enthusiasm and selflessness and constant support. But I want to tell you guys what I find interesting about that is I've never been around a group of realtors who give of themselves more than the Puerto Rico Association of Realtors. I'm always amazed. I enjoyed being in Puerto Rico. Realtor of the Week in Puerto Rico was probably the most fun I always had when I would come to Puerto Rico. I enjoyed going to the Children's Hospital. I enjoyed all the activities that surrounded that entire week. And I often brag about the Puerto Rico Association of Realtors every time I get the opportunity to speak about volunteerism. I truly don't know of a group of individuals who are better at volunteering, organizing the troops. Think about your backpacks for school when you guys, I'm assuming that you still do that. You put those backpacks together and you deliver them to the schools. You go to, during Realtor Week, we went to a park there in San Juan and fed the homeless. We went to the Children's Hospital. All of those things still mean a lot to me. And I will tell you that in my 40 years of volunteerism, my work in Puerto Rico and my opportunity to help the Puerto Rico Association of Realtors is still the thing that is the most outstanding thing that I've ever done in my 40 years of volunteerism with the association. So I thank you for recognizing me with these wonderful plaques. But I want to thank you guys for all of the things that you do in Puerto Rico, all the things that you do in your community. Because when you think about Realtor, what we are our communities. And when you hear the phrase, it's who we are, Realtors and their community is what we do every single day. So I want to commend you. I wish I had a plaque to give every one of you for being here this afternoon. It has been a long day. If you've attended all the sessions today, you had the great opportunity to listen to my very good friend, Mabel Guzman, who speaks a lot more Spanish than I do. And she's a whole lot better looking than I am. But you guys got used to that anyway for the 3 years I got to spend a lot of time with you in Puerto Rico. But I want you to know I'm going to talk to you about something today that I'm extremely passionate about. And that's the Realtor Relief Foundation. And I want to talk to you about what we're doing, what's going on, this year. And those of you who know me well, even though I'm going to have a PowerPoint up, if you've got a question, I hope you will unmute yourself. Let's talk and have a conversation. This is not about listening to me, but hopefully this is about, hello, Wilma. Wilma just joined us. Good to see you, Wilma. So this is not about me. This is about us having a conversation. So please unmute yourself. If you've got a question, we can stop and try to answer it. And then when I get finished with my presentation, we'll have some time for question and answer. But more than that, I want to offer you the opportunity to have a question and answer session about anything you want to talk about when it comes to the Realtors organization. It doesn't have to be about the Realtor Relief Foundation. I'm more than glad to share with you my insight. And it may not always be the right insight, but I'm sure more than glad to talk to you about any concerns you have about our association. So my friend Eduardo Santos would tell you that I'm probably one of the most I'm not very computer literate. So I'm going to do my best to share my screen with you and share a presentation with you. So my style, and Irma has done a couple of these presentations for me over the years. She's even done a couple for me. I would send them to them and she would translate them for me in Spanish. And then I'd forget not to have an English version. And as she will tell you, I can just talk forever and it doesn't even have to make sense with the slide. But over the years, the friendships I've made and the opportunities we've had to work together have been fun. So let me see if I can share this screen and bring this presentation up, and we're going to talk about the Realtor Relief Foundation. Okay, let's see if I have been successful. And can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
That is very good for me. Eduardo, go ahead and testify how good that is for me.
That's You're amazing, Mike.
Thank you. So let's talk about the Realtor Relief Foundation for a minute. And, you know, I will tell you, I think the Realtor Relief Foundation is the best kept secret in all of the National Association of Realtors. It is my honor to serve as the president of the Realtor Relief Foundation in its 20th year. And this year, we're going to be celebrating and honoring both our past and preparing for the future. So I've prepared this presentation for my friends in Puerto Rico. There's going to be some slides that relate just to you in this presentation. So if I can make this thing work, we'll see what we can do from here, okay? Let's see if I can get them to move. So what I want you to know about the Realtor Relief Foundation, it was formed the day after 9/11. And for most of us, if I asked you to close your eyes, you could remember exactly where you were on 9/11 in 2001. You could remember exactly what was going on that day. And I'm sure, like everyone else, were horrified at the events and the things that you were seeing. But from that very tragic event, the Realtor Relief Foundation was born. And I'm so proud of what we were able to do. Our foundation was actually the first responder in New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. We were on the ground distributing money and funds to victims in need before anybody else was. What I'm proud to tell you and what I want to share with you is that in 100 days, the Realtor family raised $8.4 million. And not only did we raise that money, but we distributed that money to families in need in New York, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. Our foundation was founded by our 2001 leadership team, Richard Mendenhall, Martin Edwards, Pat Kaplan, who served as the president of the Realtor Relief Foundation for 5 years, and Kathy Watley. Throughout that 20-year period, this association and your foundation has awarded over $33 million after hurricanes, fires, even a snowstorm in Texas. In 38 states and territories, over 100 disasters. But the thing I want you to see is that we have helped over 17,000 families in their time of need make their house payment or their rent payment. The other thing I'm proud of is that if you give $1 to the foundation, $1 goes to relief. The National Association of Realtors pays for all of the expenses to run this foundation. I wish that you had the opportunity that I've had since the beginning of the year to listen to Richard Mendenhall, Martin Edwards, and Pat Kaplan and Kathy Watley as they tell the stories and talk about the formation of the Realtor Relief Foundation. I'm going to share a story with you that Martin Edwards and both Richard Mendenhall have shared. We always try to hand deliver checks to the victims. Well, you heard me say just a second ago that we raised $8.4 million in 100 days and distributed $8.4 million in 100 days in New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania. But some of the stories are just heart-wrenching. President Richard Mendenhall tells a story of a realtor knocking at the door, a lady coming to the door with 2 children, he said, that looked to be 3 or 4 years old, and a lady who was 8 months pregnant. And when she opened that door and we handed her a check to make her house payment for the next 3 months, it was all she could do to hold her composure because she had lost her husband, had no idea how she was going to make her house payment for the next 3 months with 2 little children and a child on the way. This is what we do as a Realtor family. We are engaged in our community, and that's the opportunity that the Realtor Relief Foundation gives us today. I will also tell you that initially our realtors were going one-on-one to deliver checks, but they had to stop that after day 1, and we had to pair realtors together. It was too emotionally draining for someone to go by themselves. They needed that support from another person. So that's just part of the story about how we got started. And now we're going to talk about some other things that we have going on this year. I want to introduce you to the board of directors for your Realtor Relief Foundation. I do have the privilege of serving as your president for 2021 and 2022. My friend Lee Brown from South Carolina will follow me as president, and she is currently serving as vice president of the National Association of Realtors, the same job title I had back in 2015. I hope it wasn't 1915. If it was, I'm doing really well. Martin Edwards from Memphis, Tennessee, who has chaired the Realtor Relief Foundation for the past 10 years. Bob Codwell from Florida. David Sharon, who is a MLS executive. He actually runs the largest MLS in the country. Travis Kessler from Texas, who is their executive officer. Nancy Lane, many of you know Nancy. She is our current treasurer of the National Association of Realtors and serves on our board. Shantae Patton is our newest member of our board. She is from Nevada, Las Vegas. And Gary Rogers from Boston, Massachusetts. And Gary is the gentleman that coordinated the run in Boston the year we had the convention there. So that's our board. I want to introduce you to our board. And I want to share this timeline with you. And these are all of the natural disasters that we have been involved in, beginning in 2001 and running all the way through 2021. And if you will look over in 2017, you will see that Puerto Rico is listed there twice. And we will talk about those efforts a little later on and what we were able to do as a foundation for Puerto Rico during those devastating tornadoes that affected you guys in so many ways. It affected your business, it affected your families. As I would talk to my friends, and especially Vanessa and Eduardo and Elena and other people from around the island during that time, it was heart-wrenching every time I would get on the phone and realize what was going on there. But I'm so glad that our foundation was able to be involved there. The other thing that you might notice is the number of disasters and how they continue to increase. So that's one of the reasons that we're doing an awareness campaign this year, and also one of the reasons that we're trying to do a major fundraiser this year. But I want to talk about Puerto Rico for a minute. Puerto Rico Association of Realtors was able to distribute $156,000 to families in need. But I want you to look at the next number, and I want you to circle that. You made a difference in 278 families' lives. I hope that time we'll be better prepared to help you guys. I hope there is never a next time. Let me say that first. I hope there's never a time that we need to have a disaster relief fund or operation going on in Puerto Rico again. But I do think we learned a lot, and I think the next time around, both the National Association of Realtors and Puerto Rico Realtors Association will be better prepared. But you should be proud of yourselves. You have 278 families in a time of need. That's a big number. We do have a campaign going on this year to talk about our 20th anniversary. But the main thing that I want to do during this campaign this year is educate our own members about what I consider to be the biggest secret at the National Association of Realtors, and that's the Realtor Relief Foundation. So we're hoping to prepare our foundation to better serve our members and our community in a time of need. So that's the focus this year of our fundraiser and the things that we're trying to accomplish. I want to introduce you to our fundraising team this year. We have 4 honorary chairs. You heard me talk about them earlier: Richard Mendenhall, Kathy Watley, Martin Edwards, and Pat Kaplan. I'm going to stop right there. Typically, when you see the word honorary, you think about those people who they've lent or loaned their name for us to have the opportunity to fundraise using their names. These 4 individuals are engaged 100% in fundraising, and we really should take the word honorary off of their title and just call them chairs of the fundraising committee this year. They are just doing an amazing job. Our 2 chairmen this year of the fundraising drive, Dave Legazz and Craig Wilburn. Let me tell you that Craig is from Florida. I hope some of you have had the opportunity to meet Craig. He is the current chair of their Realtor Relief program there in Florida. And then Dave Legazz is the president of the New York State Association of Realtors. But the thing I want to share with you about Dave is a retired New York City policeman who lost his partner on 9/11. It is a story that is heart-wrenching and will bring tears to your eyes when you hear Greg talk about that. I don't know about you, but I can't imagine having lost a spouse, a friend, or a loved one in 9/11, much less my partner if I had been a New York policeman or a New York fireman. So those are just things I think that are very difficult to relate with, and his story is just heart-wrenching. Our campaign team members are made up of our 13 regional vice presidents from around the country, and each of them have also employed an AE, an executive officer, like your executive officer, to work with them as we coordinate this campaign as we move forward during the course of the year. So that's our campaign team. So I want to tell you a little bit about what we've been able to accomplish in a very short period of time this year. So far, we have secured 100% investment from all of the Realtor Relief Foundation members, all of the National Association of Realtors leadership team, and their executive staff. We've assembled a national campaign to lead this effort. We've received early investments from state and local associations that have amounted to $1.5 million so far this year. We typically raise about $1.5 million for the foundation throughout the course of a year. But this year, we've already exceeded what our average fundraising would be through the course of a 12-month period of time. So as of today, these are not commitments. These are funds raised. We have actually raised $1,848,613 for the Realtor Relief Foundation. So we are well on our way to having an outstanding year in Realtor Relief Foundation fundraising. I want to recognize some of the folks who have really stepped up, and I hope you'll take a look at the top, the Northeast Florida Association of Realtors. They called me last Thursday and wanted to have a Zoom meeting with me last Friday afternoon, about 2:30 in the afternoon. And I said, I can do that, but you're getting into my Scotch time on Friday afternoon. So we all had a big laugh about that. And they got me on the Zoom meeting. They had their leadership there. And they said, we are presenting the Realtor Relief Foundation with a $250,000 check. And they held the check up for us to look at. So a local association of realtors with 10,000 members made a $250,000 investment in the Realtor Relief Foundation. I want you to stop and give them a round of applause. That's pretty amazing, guys. That is just, I mean, that's just fantastic. But we also have the Texas Association of Realtors, who's invested $200,000, the California Association of Realtors, $200,000, and Realtor.com came on as my first corporate sponsor, making a $200,000 investment. And then below that, you'll see the state of Illinois came in at 150, Missouri at 150,000. My own home state of Arkansas, which is the lead small state investor with less than 10,000 members, we made a $120,000 investment in the Realtor Relief Foundation. The New Jersey Association of Realtors and the New York Association of Realtors, both at $100,000. And then my very first local association that invested this year was the Portland Metropolitan Association of Realtors at $25,000. And then we have the Bright MLS that came in yesterday at $25,000. And so that's our first MLS that's come in. And when we report these numbers back to you in November, you're going to see a lot of MLSs. And my goal is to have all 50 of our state associations as investors in the Realtor Relief Foundation this year. So part of what we want to do this year is seek financial support, find volunteers that will help us as we continue throughout this volunteer fundraising effort throughout 2021. And more importantly, though, we want to find new advocates, people who talk about the Realtor Relief Foundation. I said it earlier, and I believe it to be true today. The Realtor Relief Foundation is the biggest secret at the National Association of Realtors. There is not, in my opinion, another program that defines who we are better than the Realtor Relief Foundation. There's not a program that we do that touches our members and our communities. There's not a program that NAR that another program outside of Realtor Relief Foundation that exists that you can't say, well, you know, if I got to give to RPAC, I don't know that I'm a Republican or a Democrat or an independent or a socialist or whatever it is you might want to tag yourself with. That conversation never comes up with the Realtor Relief Foundation, because it's something that we do and it defines who we are, and it makes us a part of our community. So this is just a timeline of some of the things that we've done. We rolled out our fundraising program at the AEI Institute. And Diane, I hope you got to go and attend the AEI this year. If not, I hope that you put that on your calendar next year. And that's a program where executive officers from all the states and local associations attend, and they learn about all the programs that take place at the National Association of Realtors. So if you were unable to do that this year, I sure hope that you work that in and that becomes a part of what you do in 2022. If you had the opportunity yesterday to be a part of 360, did you guys watch 360 on Facebook yesterday? We had 1,600 realtors on Facebook watching 360 yesterday. And President Charlie Oppler, my good friend, and he and I worked as vice presidents under Chris Polycron in 2015. He spent the last 10 minutes of his presentation talking about the Realtor Relief Foundation. So it was exciting. We have our public launch and kickoff of the Realtor Relief Foundation and fundraising efforts that will go public on June the 15th. Your president for 2022, Leslie Ruta Smith, has invited me to come and present to the Leadership Summit this year in Chicago, which will be live. And I'm very excited about coming and being with everyone in person and talking about that. And on September the 10th, we're going to hold our first ever telethon. And I'm going to talk to you about that here in just a moment. And hopefully that's an area that you guys can be engaged and involved in back in Puerto Rico. And then our conference, which will be in San Diego. And I hope that everyone that's on this call today is planning on going to San Diego. I don't know about y'all. I am ready to see some of my realtor family and be engaged with my realtor family again. So there will be a lot of special recognition there and just some things that we're really excited about. But one of the things I want to talk to you about is our 20th anniversary telethon, which will be on September the 10th. It is to commemorate a milestone for this association, which is our 20th anniversary of the Realtor Relief Foundation. You're going to see and hear a lot more about what we're going to be doing concerning the telethon in June after we get through with our legislative meetings and via Zoom, which normally would be in Washington this week. But you're going to begin to hear the telethon take center stage, and you're going to hear a lot of conversation about that. So it's my hope that Puerto Rico can get involved and be a part of our telethon on September the 10th. And we'll have some ideas and some things that you guys can help us do to raise some money from your members and from the public there as well. So I just want to say thank you, or muchas gracias, for the opportunity to present and talk to you about the Realtor Relief Foundation today. This it's my pleasure to share this program. I'm now going to take my screen share down, and I'm hoping that for the next 45 minutes or so, or ever how long you guys want to talk about Realtor Relief, or you want to talk about anything about the Realtor family, this is our opportunity to have an open conversation. And for those of you who know me the best, you know these are my favorite times. I see that one of our national directors, Jeannie, has joined us down there. Jeannie, glad to see you today. So thank you for being on and joining us. So I'd love to take this opportunity now and love to field any questions. And whether it be about the Realtor Relief Foundation or anything else that you want to talk about today, or maybe anything that you've covered with other speakers today. Who's got something for me? Now, let me tell you guys, I've been around y'all a long time. Quite is not one of the things I would ever call my realtor family in Puerto Rico. So I expect someone to ask me a question.
Hello, Mike. This is Irma Colon.
I've never met you before. Good to see you again, Irma.
I just want to share with the people that was not too involved in the association in 2017 when we have the Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico. And I'm going to share some insight about the support that we received from the National Association of Realtors. And you said that you understand perfectly Spanish, so I'm going to speak in Spanish for
I said I understand just enough to be dangerous, but Amber, you go ahead and talk to our friends.
Slowly. Okay. No, pero yo le quería dejar saber a los compañeros que realmente sí recibimos un apoyo grandísimo de la National Association of Realtors para el tiempo en que tuvimos el impacto del huracán María. Pero desafortunadamente pues no contábamos con los recursos de voluntarios, ¿verdad? Y quizás es la estructura para poder aprovechar al máximo, y esos números que compartió Mike ahí de las familias que se beneficiaron de esa ayuda hubiese podido ser más alto porque habían los fondos si acá en Puerto Rico hubiésemos tenido, ¿verdad?, una organización o un voluntariado más grande para poder entonces dirigir la ayuda que nos ofreció la National Association of Realtors, y eso es bien importante que entonces podamos aumentar la cantidad de voluntarios que tenemos en nuestra organización para poder entonces aprovechar todas esas beneficios que nos brinda nuestra membresía a nivel nacional. And I want to tell you, Mike, we always going to appreciate all the support that you gave us in the Puerto Rico Association of Realtors with the strategic plan. When we start with the core standards in 2015, Mike was the one to support us developing a strategic plan, making the modification in our bylaws in order to comply with the core standard. Mike make a great support fighting in 2016 for the B2B, I don't remember the name of the B2B, el arbitrio o algo que querían implementar. Mike was there present in the Capitolio fighting with us, right? Eduardo, do you remember that?
B2B.
So, who's that?
Right.
B2B.
Yeah, the B2B. That's right. So, Mike is a very good friend of the Puerto Rico Association Realtors, and we will always be grateful for that. Thank you, Mike.
Well, thank you, Emma. It has always been my pleasure, but the B2B fight was an interesting opportunity, not only for the Puerto Rico Association of Realtors, but for all of the states back on the mainland were looking at what was happening in Puerto Rico. And there were other states who were ready to pass a B2B in their own states. If we had not been able to it took us a long time to really defeat the B2B, but it was an interesting battle. But the most interesting thing was it was important to the National Association of Realtors because there were so many other states who, like Puerto Rico, were struggling for income in their states. And they saw this as an opportunity. If it could work in Puerto Rico, then it could work in other states. But because of the hard work that your realtor volunteers did, led by Vanessa and Eduardo and Jeannie, who was a national director, and Wilma, and so many others. And I hate to call names because I always get in trouble. It means I left someone out. but there were so many people who were responsible for us keeping that conversation going until we whittled, until we were able just to knock it down a little bit at a time. So it was an interesting battle, but it could not have been won without you guys and your support and working to defeat the B2B tax. So very interesting time.
But Mike, that was a fight led by the Realtor Political Action Committee.
Yes.
Can you explain, you know, because this is the Realtor Relief Foundation, but I just want to, some realtor that are new in this kind of conversation that understand the benefit of the association regarding the Realtor Political Action Committee and the Realtor Relief Foundation, or the difference.
Huge difference. So obviously the Realtor Relief Foundation is what I'm president of now, and it really works when we have national disasters everywhere. But your Realtors Political Action Committee, and you're in one of my favorite subject matters when you start talking about RPAC and you start talking about our involvement politically and how important it is that legislators understand that laws that are passed affect home ownership. Whether you're in Puerto Rico, San Juan, Bayamón, Mayagüez, doesn't matter, or whether you're in my hometown of West Memphis, Arkansas, when you pass legislation that affects people's ability to own a home, you affect your community. So I would encourage you guys to be investors of your PAC. You guys have a PAC in Puerto Rico, and you should continue to be engaged in that PAC, and you should continue to make investments in the Realtor Political Action Committee. But there was a lot of money. Irma is correct. We were able to go in using the National Association of Realtors funds to hire a lobbying firm that helped us lobby that legislation. They did a tremendous job on your behalf. And those were funds, though, that the National Association of Realtors invested back into the realtors in Puerto Rico. And at a cost of about somewhere close to $500,000 in 2 years was invested back in your association, the Realtors Political Action Committee. And without it, you guys, we would have never have had the opportunity to work to soften or repeal the B&B. And the one thing I fought the National Association of Realtors with, we had no idea what was going on in Puerto Rico. If you guys will remember, I made a visit as your vice president in, I don't know, in July or August in 2015. And I invited leaders from all across the island to come in and visit with me for 2 days. And we're sitting around a table when I don't even remember who it was that first started the conversation about the B2B tax. And I stopped and I made someone stop and explain it to me. And I said, oh, that's not acceptable. We've got to do something about that. And, you know, and that's the reason it's important that you have people like Jeannie and Eduardo and Wilma and people who have been highly engaged at the National Association of Realtors, so that your leaders at NAR hear that message. Had I not had the opportunity to be with you guys that day, I don't think anything would have ever been done about it, because we wouldn't have known about it. And so one of the things that I think we have improved on, both at the National Association of Realtors level and the Puerto Rico Association of Realtors, is that there's a better understanding that it's a partnership. And I recognize one of the major weaknesses is that most of the time you all have to visit with someone like me that speaks English. Those lines of communication are tougher. I did my very best to learn how to communicate, and I got to where I could tell when you didn't understand, and I would stop and try to figure out another way to say it. That's a weakness that we have at the National Association of Realtors that I hope we continue to improve on. I'm an advocate. Wilma and I attended a day-long class not too long ago on diversity, and she and I then had a couple of conversations after that meeting, and then I recently had one with Jeannie and my friend Mike McGrew out of Kansas. And one of the things I can tell you, we as an association need to be developing more bilingual products. If we're going to produce a brochure to raise funds and awareness about the Realtor political party, it needs to be done in English and in Spanish. And I recognize that. And I recognize my own weakness as a leader when it comes to helping you guys be better engaged and better understand the opportunities that exist at NAR. And I can tell you, and I can assure you that in my continued leadership at NAR, I'm going to continue to push for us to have better materials that you guys can better communicate with. And Jenny, just 2 weeks ago, she and I were talking, and she says, you know, we have benefits that are offered in the States that our members in Puerto Rico don't receive. We know that. We understand that. So we have to do a better job of trying to help our Realtor family in Puerto Rico, and not just Puerto Rico, but our other territories as well, find partners that support our members and support being a Realtor member. So I believe that our leaders at NAR are far more aware today than they were prior to 2015. I think that before 2015, most of our leaders just were unaware of the differences, the difference in the culture, they understood there was a difference in language, but it's even deeper than that. So I believe that today communication's better. I believe that there's a lot of improvement that still has to happen in communications with the Puerto Rico Association of Realtors to the National Association of Realtors, but also from the National Association of Realtors to the Puerto Rico Association of Realtors. And I intend on trying to be a voice for all of my friends in Puerto Rico and continue to encourage the leaders at the National Association of Realtors to make sure that we're providing products in a bilingual manner so it's easier for you guys to communicate. But anyway, enough on that. What else? Anybody else? Great conversation. What else? Who's got a question?
Well, Mike, I believe that it will be a lot of questions. We always said to everybody that they can write to us in individual. They can write to the Puerto Rico Association of Realtors email, and for sure we will share that questions with you or with the proper persons in order to handle that. Zenaida, ¿tú quieres decir? ¿Tú quieres una pregunta? Zenaida. ¿No? Ok. Está bien. Si alguien tiene alguna pregunta, la puede escribir en el chat, puede alzar la manita, puede sencillamente abordar el grupo y preguntar. Otherwise, Michael, and we will follow your tips, your recommendations, your suggestions. We want to be part of your team. We want to achieve the goals with you. As you already said, we are very collaborative, so you can count with us. So share with us your plan, and we will make it happen here in the island. So you will have an excuse to visit us, to collect everything we do for you, and we can celebrate together. We are very happy that you join us today. I am very happy of the team that joined us today. I'm sure that everybody is committed to to give you and to share with you their talent, their voice, their skills, and their passion to fulfill and exceed all the goals together. Because as Mr. Camacho said, and our president, somos uno, and we have to work together in order to conquer and exceed all the goals. Happy Realtors Week. It's been an awesome day, and thank you very much for your information. We don't have any excuse from now, so we are very empowered with everything we are been doing and everything that we can do together. It's a teamwork, and definitely, and it's a lot of things that we can do together. So you can count with us. And I believe Marjorie Agosto, and our first vice president and the president of the committee of Realtors Week, it's somewhere around. Marjorie?
Yes, I'm here. How are you? Hello, Michael. It's Marjorie Augusto.
Hello, Marjorie.
Hi. We were at the Capitolio, we were in the Senado in San Juan, and we were being honored, and we were receiving a motion for the Puerto Rico Association of Realtors. So at this moment, I'm not at the prayer, and I'm in the car actually. We just got out. I'll show you. We have a motion, and even if we were COVID, we were honored by one of our senators, president of the. Do you see it?
Yes, I see it. Congratulations.
Do you see the sello? Do you see the sello?
Yes, I see the signature. I do.
So that's what we received. We're so happy to have you, Michael. Thank you for always being with us and helping our association. We've had a beautiful week for the Realtors. We were actually with the Realtor of the Year from Puerto Rico, receiving this motion. And tomorrow we have an honor for them, and we're going to have a lunch. It's going to be by invitation because of the COVID. So it's not going to be like those big conventions where you've been with us and we've danced merengue. So thank you so much, and happy weekend for all our Realtors of the Year. Thank you so much for your time, your valuable time. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you so very much. And I would just tell you, I would not want to conclude this without telling you how wonderful it is to be a part of Realtor Week. Again, in Puerto Rico, it was always one of my favorite events to attend with the Puerto Rico Association of Realtors. I've said it 1,000 times. I don't know of another group of people and realtors who are more dedicated to what they do than the Puerto Rico Association of Realtors. So I'm so honored to be here with you today. So glad to be a part of this realtor family. And it is with great pride that I'm here with you today. And anytime I can be a part of anything that is happening in the Puerto Rico Association of Realtors, I'm always honored to be an invited guest to your association. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your thoughtfulness. And thank you for always being kind to me when I'm in Puerto Rico. I will never forget those times and the friendships that I've made. So thank you a lot for today.
Thank you, Mike.
Gracias a todas las presidentas y presidentes de nuestros boards, a Melissa, a Marisa, a Wilma, a Carlos, por motivar a cada uno de los grupos. Sin ustedes no hubiese sido posible tener esta gran audiencia que hemos tenido durante todos los trabajos del día de hoy. Gracias al comité de Semana del Realtor, que ha trabajado incansablemente para traer esta semana para ustedes con mucho amor y mucho cariño. Gracias a todos nuestros conferenciantes, a Michael Ford, a Steven, a Erin, a Mabel, que nos han nutrido de mucha información actual y muchos retos que tenemos juntos como boards y como asociación, los abrazamos y los tenemos que trabajar juntos como equipo para lograr esas metas y excederlas y poner a Puerto Rico en alto. Si alguien más quiere añadir algo, estoy muy honrada de trabajar en este equipo y pues cada día que pasa aprendo más y seguiremos aprendiendo cada día. Puerto Rico Association of Realtors, afiliada a National Association of Realtors, celebra la Semana del Realtor 2021. Nuestros boards: Bayamón Board of Realtors, Mid-Island Association of Realtors, San Juan Board of Realtors. Nuestro distrito: Puerto Rico Association of Realtors, Caguas District. Nuestros auspiciadores: Caribe Federal Credit Union.
Caribe Federal te ofrece el préstamo que necesitas. Accede hoy mismo a caribefederal.com y solicita online. Caribe Federal, servicio con calor humano.
The Title Security Group. Oriental.
El futuro es grande, impredecible, emocionante. Por eso trabajamos para ti, donde quieras y cuando quieras, para que estés más que listo para el hoy, para aprovechar el mañana, más que listo para viajar y por supuesto compartirlo, más que listo para progresar. Y estamos aquí para vivirlo contigo. Con Oriental siempre estarás más que listo.
First Bank. First Mortgage.
Si esperas tener casa, habla con nosotros primero. En First Mortgage, abrimos las puertas de tu hogar.
Money House. ¡Felicidades! Felicitamos a nuestros distinguidos Realtors, Orlando Vázquez,
Ya se acabó.
Fernando Báez y Agnes Rivera. Puerto Rico Realtor 2021, Orlando Vázquez Berríos, del Bayamón Board of Realtors. Eso es lo que somos, Realtors.